I see this comment posted many different places on social media. This get your passport, as if that's the solution to your problem on the dating and relationship market, especially in the West. And I'll explain this very quickly. And let me go into some depth. I'm not for or against any type of movement or anybody living, any man living life on his own terms. But let me just be brief. This is a male advisory channel. And I'm going to put it bluntly. Again, if you have low self-esteem, if you don't like your own company, if you're not secure in your masculinity and your manhood, you are a global victim. A simp is a global victim. A man that's weak is a global victim. A man that doesn't feel good about himself is a global victim. A guy that's not squared away, secure, has discipline, self-control, has not poured into himself and done the self-development work to become the best version of himself for him is a global victim. There's no utopia on this planet. You're not escaping feminists by going to the East. There's a whole bunch of feminists in China and Thailand and all these other places. How do I know? Because I've been there. That's why I don't make content. I am content. So I always let the guys make these comments. Then I'll just pull out a video of me at the Naga Festival in Nakhon Phanom, Thailand, or walking around. Wherever the internet goes, radical feminist ideology, modern women, delusion, visions of grandeur will go. The reality is that if you're secure in your manhood, your masculinity, you're comfortable living by yourself, and you've built up an immunity to the effects and the psychological effects of pre-owned box, you will be good anywhere the system that I promote on this channel is a system of manhood and masculinity and secureness with your mental health and your own self-development, where no matter where you go on this planet, you'll be fine. And I think what happens inevitably, because of dangerous conversation that many of these guys do for content in social media, telling men to go here and go, and then that guy's livelihood, his income, his daily bread is supported by you, selling you some dream or some fantasy. And you go there and you discover for yourself that the matrix is everywhere. The globe is everywhere. Wherever the phone is, wherever technology is, wherever certain mindsets, certain mentality is, the only reality, the only way you can really escape any of this is by knowledge and developing a hardcore through your own self-development. And there's a reason why I don't show women on this channel, because I make it about you and your own self-development. You see guys, they'll put showing women and box and access to women and showing all this shit on the channel to suck you in because they know that men have 20 times more testosterone plus than women. And a horny dude, needs drive behavior. And his lust is like, yeah. I can get over there and give me some easy box. So, man, you'll get them women will destroy some of these dudes that have low self-esteem. If you have low self-esteem, the women will rip your soul out. These women over here is a joke compared to those women over there. And trust me, I've dealt with all these women. To me, they are a comedy. I find women very interesting. A peaceful life operates on one premise. I don't need no box. I just need me some money. Sex ain't nothing but a memory. Next, baby, don't matter. Love you all. But I'm on a mission most of the time. So for me, I'm immune to this pre-owned box and women's manipulation game because it really don't make a difference to me. There's another one around the corner. But some dude, he might be like, oh, my God, I'm in love. Man, her and her family have been ran through your pockets if you're weak. And that's the fundamental problem. My job is to deal with what I do with content is I deal with the virus itself, which is males' low self-esteem that puts you in a position to be manipulated and taken advantage of. I would even recommend some guys who feel a certain way to get a psychological evaluation by a guy like the coach or clinician who, or one of these other, ask your brother, not, well, get a consultation, I'm sorry, but have your life evaluated. As you start talking to me about women, I'm gonna start talking to you about you, how you feel about yourself, the things that you're doing for your life, your own self-development, your own purpose. Why do you feel your life is fulfilled only when you have a woman in it? Are you a bitch-led man? Are you controlled by box, especially pre-owned box? Do you even like yourself? You forget about what women like you. Do you like you? Why can't you be alone? Why haven't you mastered yourself? Why haven't you mastered your finances? Why haven't you mastered your health, your fitness, and the things that matter to you? What is your life like without a woman? And those are the things that you need to master first before you worry about going somewhere else. And now, if you're just traveling, I know Coach Greg Adams and other guys who do the free agent lifestyle, that's not really about women. That's about freedom. And you're living life on your own terms. That's what that's about. And if you incidentally, in an environment where you just happen to meet a woman that's respectful, that's honorable, that respects you as a man, and that's willing to offer you a level of fair exchange, and it was an asset to you, you're doing it from a position of power, which is healthy self-esteem and healthy mental health, as opposed to a situation where you're running around looking for that as a scavenger of the globe. And that's what I try to deal with. Granted, there's certain advantages to certain things for guys who travel overseas, especially in cultures where the women were not raised to hate men. Or there's a system in place where if you do this, this is the treatment that you expect from the culture and the respect you respect. What you will get for as a man. Those things are true. But the same debauchery that goes on over there goes on over here. And I think for the vast majority of that, I agree with a guy like CGA who talked about the monetized dating and relationship market. It's very transactional in many instances. Here in America, overseas, everywhere else, in many instances, it's become about the money, usually for women, especially when they get around the 30-year age, when they're just trying to find the best possible mate because they're about to age out. And some of them never age out because they keep on the same train, but it's not the guy that they pick. It's usually the last pick of the draft in many instances. And that's global. And worse than ever, go look at China's marriage market in the park in Xinjiang province. Look at the internet. Look at what's going on in South Korea. Look what's going on in other places. Feminism is everywhere. The problem is just economics and people's ability or women's ability to execute these things without the power of the state involved in terms of government support, living in gynocentrism and whatever else. People are people at the end of the day. And there's those people who you find based on their character and what they're about. Character matters in these situations in life. And that's why I don't sell these fantasies and these dreams. I just support your freedom to choose. That's why when I go after certain men, it's always about, hold on here. What are you doing? When guys start attacking men, doing these virtue signaling for the culture, because somehow dudes think that their ability to acquire old, vigorously and viciously pounded out pre-owned box is a measure of your masculinity and manhood. I look at men, I see competence, I see people's self-esteem, their character, the discipline, and their ability to, perform certain things in this world more valuable than one sitting around here with swagger and how your ability to. That's why I get on these game guys and these horrible dating coaches selling men crap when some men need to be just with a therapist and a psychologist, a good one, a masculine one, because that game ain't nothing with them. You're teaching man a game with low self-esteem is a waste of time. Now, understanding women, once you understand women and you have healthy self-esteem, women become easy. But that's something you have to learn and develop. And I have to say, in many instances, some dudes have to build up an immunity to pre-owned. That's not the moral thing. It wouldn't be moral for me in an idealistic world. A peaceful life wouldn't have to put you on his pre-owned wear down program, where I build your immunity to that shit so you don't get your mind taken advantage of by one of these leftover women, especially the ones in the church charging marriage MSRP, using religion to sucker some dude that she wouldn't touch when she was 21 into a marriage. Now she's getting old. I can't do that. I can't promote that stuff and promote healthy living and whatever else, because there'd be hypocrisy on it. But if you think the answer to your problems is found in another country, you're crazy. The answer to your problem is looking at you right in the mirror. Most dudes need to fix their self-esteem, be squared away, and be born again masculine, unapologetically masculine. Especially the people pleasers and the guys think that women is going to offer you some fulfillment in life. You're smoking crack. You lost your damn mind. If you think somebody who can't even wear their own face, so insecure, every day long, they're picking at their bodies, looking at their bodies in the mirror. They ride on them. You're looking for fulfillment from a creature that lives on emotions. That's the first problem you need to do. Have an examination of your own brain, that you're looking for fulfillment by something that runs on emotions. You're supposed to be the logical one. And a lot of guys fall into that idea that there's some utopia somewhere. Look at the dudes in China. They're getting crushed. Shit, they make the West look like a joke. And them women come up straight transactional. Watch clips, Marriage Market, the park, Cindy Palmers. They're coming out with the list. You talk about transaction, you talking for pay for play? Man, you talk, they're like, well, do this car, this house, this. I need this much money in, what is it? Bride price for this much money. A man must have this, must have that, must have this. Well, now the guys have you can't even get these men in China to marry anybody anymore. They didn't start laying flat and doing all. South Korea is even worse. It's even worse in those countries. It's global now. It's global, man. There's no utopia. This goofy feminist virus has spread, and people selling these basket weaving degrees to women. They go to colleges and schools in China and all these other places with these basket weaving degrees, and they start feeling that they're better than the men. They are hypergamous in terms of what they think they deserve in terms of a man. And they're very transactional about it. And guess what? That might not be the reality of what, they might make them a higher, in their opinion, higher status. But to a man, they're still Xing leftover women after a certain age in terms of what a man values in terms of a wife for children and childbirth and having a family. And again, we see that delusion here in America. With a whole lot of women, especially the older women, older people like myself. I'm out the game. I'm 51 years old, almost 52 years old. I would be considered a non-child producer because I've already produced kids, and these old women are non-birthers. That's what they are. They need to go sit down. Miss Sue and Mr. Johnson maybe need to work out some deal and go down to Florida or something and spend some time together instead of her on the internet doing thirst traps, competing with women half her age. And these old dudes, Drewski did a good skit on Arrested Development. Some of these old dudes walking around, game and pimp, I touch you game, I'll teach you young guys game. Look at him. Would you listen to that type of dude? What kind of game he got? Shit, he probably got prostate problem talking about some game. Look at that dude. Would you listen to some old guy my age talking about spitting game? Bullshit, man. Swagger. What about competence? Can you do something with your life? Do something. What is it that you're good at? And, this is self-esteem crisis. It's a dysfunctional type of environment that we exist in. It's almost comedic for me watching it because I'm looking at these guys and I can see the goofiness coming from their content. I can see the low self-esteem, the posturing of materialism. Imagine a guy like me, my age, flexing materialism. And what am I, virtue signaling or trying to say, well, look at me, I'm better than other men? Or even the guys that make fun of other guys, call them incels and whatever else. What is a freaking, that's a guy that overvalues. The measure of a man is pre-owned now? Really? That's a guy I'd be like, well, look at me. I can have sex with all these women, and I'm better than you. Well, look at you. At the end of the day, all consuming pre-owned. We're all consumers of pre-owned. Ain't nobody got nothing that ain't nobody else had before. At the end of the day, the ego, lose the freaking ego. Lose the ego. This is 2026. You've had so many years of sexual liberation. They give it away, they sell it. They do whatever they have to do. It's flooded in the street. You tell me, that guy's a peaceful life, that guy's an incel. Okay, I'll solve that problem in 20 minutes. $50. You have $50? No, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding, people. These are not problems in life unless there's a mental health problem. Now, mental health problems, that's a whole different problem, an issue that needs to be dealt with. But I think more so you see men virtue signaling, and they're seeking approval and validation. And the more they flex materialism, the lower their self-esteem is, to be honest with you. You look at them, it's just low self-esteem, really. I mean, most dudes just want to enjoy life, their passions, their hobbies, and really just have peace of mind and peace and enjoy life. But the danger in that conversation of get your passport, I got to know what type of mental health that person is dealing with. What type of self-esteem issues that person have? What have they been doing all their life? How have they been living their life? What kind of life do you have for yourself first? Before you can, when I see a guy like CGA Travel or someone like that, CGA or MTR and whatever else, those brothers are squared away. Or guys like International Zoe and all them guys have lived life. They're squared away. You know what I mean? They're not out here operating on no low self-esteem. And especially the brothers that are, especially on this channel, that have been traveling for years, they just love traveling and experiencing the world. They're not thinking that traveling is the antidote to their issues with women or anything else. And you've seen me with all my other channels, Life on Your Own Terms, when I travel overseas. I'm just enjoying myself. I don't even really think about, once I leave American soil and go overseas, I really don't have conversation about the women or anything like that. I have conversations about freedom and living life on your own terms. Because at the end of the day, if you're still looking for fulfillment out of modern relationships, you're going to be sadly disappointed. And again, I'm not anti-relationship. I'm pro-peace, anti-torture. And I'm pro-winning, anti-losing. So married, single don't mean anything to me. All that matters to me is if you're winning. If you're living a life of peace, prosperity, and having happiness in your life is more important than anything else. As opposed to, if you find that with a woman, that's wonderful and great. You find that on your own, that's wonderful and great. But either way, you're responsible for that. You can't expect that anybody else is going to bring that to you. If you're peaceful and happy and you're squared away in your life and your mental health is solid and you're in love with your own company, you're comfortable being alone, then you're going to want to be around people and be in situations that add to your life. If you're not squared on your square and you go somewhere and then you open yourself up to dealing with people that may be of lesser quality, lesser character, or they might bring certain exploitation game at you, and you might not be like, man, hell no, because a man who feels good about himself, and very difficult to manipulate a man whose self-esteem is up there, who has healthy self-esteem. Because none of us are perfect. We all have our flaws. But it's very difficult to manipulate a man who's on his square, that has built himself and is comfortable being alone. And once he's comfortable that way, he's happy being alone. Anything else that comes in his world to take from him or extract resources and energy from him without providing any type of reciprocal value or any type of self-exploitation that comes his way, regardless of where he is in the world, he's going to be strong and standing on his own square, and he's going to be able to navigate his way through those situations. But again, the answer is looking at men in the mirror. It's not where you are. Wherever you go, there you are. Whatever problems you're having in one place, if you don't fix your self-esteem, you don't fix yourself, you'll have it everywhere else you go. That's just the way it is. Game is everywhere. Game is global. People are always trying to exploit, take advantage of weak people, weak-minded individuals. It's not just men, it's women too. I see a lot of women go overseas, especially the women that think that they can just go ahead and rewrite their life in Africa or Southeast Asia and escape the horrible Western culture and run overseas and whatever else. They don't realize that as soon as you get off that plane, game is coming at you, and you have to be firm. You have firm in your conviction. You have the utopian mentality of thinking that, they looking for weakness. You can't say a hard no, especially for women. They'll cook you alive. There's scammers everywhere, even here in America. Your phone be buzzing for strange numbers, phishing shit, trying to put viruses on your stuff. All kinds of game. From the time you go to the car dealership, the repair shop, dating, relationships, all kinds of stuff. If you're not on your square with your self-esteem, none of us are perfect. Trust me, none of us are. But if you're not on your square, you're just a walking victim. Period. So we deal with the issue of men's mental health. I recommend my brother, the kosher clinician, masculine male therapist in the space to deal with men. And when we're dealing with young men, we have to get in the habit of developing their masculinity and their self-esteem while they're young, so that they're not out here doing weird shit. And that has to be developed on their own without even getting to women. Just what you need to be. You're doing this because of you. You're staying in shape because of you. You're eating healthy because of you. You're making money because you want to live a life of freedom and prosperity. Your character, your mental health, your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. You're doing this for you. You're going to the gym because you want to feel good. You want to walk up a flight of stairs, or you want to get in shape. Maybe you want to be able to take a piss and see your damn nuts instead of, having your belly sticking over it. You're doing this for your benefit. You're making money to live a good life. And then if you want to add a woman, add a family, you're doing it from a position of strength, good mental health, as opposed from a position of scarcity. And I think that's the fundamental issue you got to, and that's why one of these guys, they fail to reach young men, because they're making it about what they need to be for women in society and how they need to be benefiting society, as opposed to what they need to be doing for themselves, to be better for themselves. And that all trickles down into society and everybody else around them. Again, when men are better, they make the world around them better. It's like a household. When dad is elevated, respected, and taken care of, good men with good character, it trickles down to everybody else. When you make women, pedestalize women, women take care of themselves. Period. That's just the way life is. So again, the solutions and the answer are looking at you in the mirror every day. It's you. It's you. It really is. Again, hard to take advantage of a man with high self-esteem who loves himself. Very difficult, no matter where he goes on the globe. If the deal ain't right and he loves himself, he's going to run. Peace and blessings to you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. We'll talk soon. I'm out.